Hey, Alpha fan, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we are going to do just a brief update on Bitcoin. I did mention that I would readdress this pullback if we did breach certain levels on the chart. And as we do have this kind of resistance, well, now resistance, it was previously support area. Well, we're kind of in the ambiguous zone there, right? It's really a zone, it's not really a hard line. And so if we do end up losing this area, most likely we will continue down to the center of this range according to that measured move of the rising wedge, right, that is breaking down on the Bitcoin chart. Now, I was hoping for some type of kind of conservative play off of that rising wedge, but just being realistic, the statistics are that the likelihood is for it to break down the full length. And so if we do pump here, that would be fairly bullish, and holding on to that top line was fairly ambitious. Guys, if we do just move forward, we can see the previous momentum zone, which we were talking about earlier this morning. Of course, the day has closed, and so we did not close on top of that momentum zone. In fact, we are quickly drowning in the pool. Well, we're only halfway down. We're still above the 2 to 5 day projection, and so if we do get a nice bounce in this area, that's actually fairly bullish, and we could wick all the way down to that measured move as long as we get on top of that 2 to 5 day projection. All of this is still fairly bullish, but we should update these momentum pools just because a lot has changed due to this huge push and then this pretty significant pullback. And so it is time to just take a look at an updated momentum pool. And so here I've derived one for you, and in fact we can see that in order to maintain on top of that momentum pool, we really cannot lose this current kind of ambiguous a support resistance zone that we're hanging on right now, and we should sit on top of this kind of a dashed line here very squarely. We don't want to be going down to the bottom of this pool, or it is a good chance that we will get trapped in the middle of that lower range below all this price action down here, and that could just end up taking us to the other side of the chart, right? And so, how are we going to look at that? Well, I would suggest these new signals. Of course, you can see that the 2 to 5 day projection has actually shrank pretty significantly. We are now just a thin line, right? Previously, it was a nice momentum pool underneath us, but in fact, the 2 to 5 day projection, just due to the dynamics of this, has dynamically updated to us needing to hold onto this line by the end of the close tomorrow. Now, of course, we do have that Jerome Powell meeting, or pardon me, not Jerome Powell, sorry about that. We do have that PCE data coming out tomorrow, Friday, October 28th. And so that could just to shock the market. It could do something very weird to the market. And so holding on to this level just is that much more significant. And of course, we can put some numbers here. I would, although that's what the momentum zones are suggesting, which is, let me go ahead and double check. The top of this box is going to be 20,297. So roughly 20,300 is going to be a pretty reasonable play to hold on to, but I really wouldn't get excited until we're above 20,375. That's what my momentum is telling me, that we'll have a bullish bias above 20,375, and then we're going to be uber bullish if we can get above 21,205, and that is based upon our higher time frame EMAs. Okay, and so of course for the 5 day EMAs, I want to see us above the 9, above the 5. pardon me, above the 4. And guys, in terms of just a front-running bullishness, well, I really wouldn't do it in the middle of the range. But if we are able to hold above 19,945, we're still looking in pretty good shape inside of this momentum pool. However, if we do drown to the bottom of it, I am going to have a bearish bias under there. So underneath 19,790, really, that's no good. Again, yeah, underneath 19,790, I'm going to have more of a bearish bias that we're going to continue to perhaps chop to the downside. And if we do end up just plummeting because of some really bad PCE data, then underneath 17,810 is a critical level where we now lose all of our momentum after this play has been put in. So, guys, a couple pretty significant updates there. I hope that this does help with your understanding. Of course, we can play around in this region. We can have a nice wick in this region, and the momentum pools really aren't, are basically showing us where we can play around in. And then if we get a nice bounce up here, then it was just kind of a fake out. If we do again lose this area, then there's a good chance that we're just going to explore the other side of the range due to this kind of a volatile condition that we're in. And that is a significant change because, again, previously the momentum pool for the 2 to 5 day projection was underneath us, which did suggest momentum to the upside. And, we did get that, right? We were hanging on pretty bullishly up here, but we did lose. We did lose momentum in this turnaround. And so now, having closed the day with that lost momentum, we're basically just this flat line at the top of the chart. And that does suggest pressure to the downside, either sideways or pressure to the downside. So I'm a little bit skeptical that we can actually hang on to this. But again, that's the move that you're going to be looking for if you do want to see us to continue to rise bullishly. Otherwise, you should know that we have crossed down into this kind of the ambiguity of the zone that separates bullishness to potential bearishness. And while we have a little bit of a play, we really are back into that range that we've been stuck in for quite some while. And I just don't think that this is likely to be a fake out. More, I think the market is just preparing itself, getting right here on the line between bullish and bearish because of that PCE data, which will be coming out tomorrow. And so essentially, the market is preparing itself for what if the data is good and what if the data is bad. And so the market is obviously just positioning itself to be ready to go either direction. And so there is this little area of momentum, just swimming around in this little momentum area, just helps the market. Stay pretty much neutral until the data is in. And additionally, we could reach down here and just grab some liquidity off of these naked candles before doing some type of a bullish maneuver, or we just simply come down, guys, right? Guys, that's going to be your update for Bitcoin. Again, key levels to watch right over here. And, that was your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.